Hello, beautiful souls. I'm here to unveil what's inside the Anchor the Light Sacred Practice Bundle for the month of December. If you're not familiar with what this is, it's a beautiful little ritual box that arrives at your doorstep each and every month, bringing you a spiritual practice with crystals, bracelets, energetic tools for supporting your alignment and raising in frequency. And so it's like building in accountability for sacred self-care each and every month. And I want to drop into the energies for this month. The affirmation of the month is, well, here it is. You can see the light encoded art and the light in the center, and then all of this kind of shadowy, dark energy around that light. And the affirmation is, in the darkness, I find my brightest light. In the darkness, I find my brightest light. And this is so aligned with sacred season and the energies of solstice and this sort of death rebirth portal that we are in. And in essence, there's a intention card that comes in the box as well, and also a wisdom teaching with journal prompts. We'll talk about those. And then there's a little bit about the bracelet and the crystal on this card as well. And so dropping into the wisdom for the month, in the darkness, I find my brightest light. And so at the heart of everyone is this spark of divine light. You are a fractal of source light. And oftentimes in our everyday comings and goings in the 3D world and the personality matrix with all of our unresolved emotional energy and, deep-seated traumas, wounding patterns, energetic patterns, imprinting, all the things that make us who we are, we often disconnect from that inner spark, that inner light. We have ways of compromising ourselves or not listening to ourselves or even repressing parts of ourselves. We all have shadow aspects, those parts of ourselves that we push down or that we don't want to look at, right? And sometimes whenever life gets heavy, we are brought to those deeper spaces of inner reflection and really going within and looking at those parts of ourselves with a finer lens. And this is where we start to plug back in, where we start to reconnect with that soul spark, that spark of source. And that's when we start to reconnect with truth. This little seed of light is shrouded by mystery. And this is why all the mystery schools and ancient techniques always taught this practice of stillness and going within, because that's where we meet that spark of the divine within ourselves. And that's where we ultimately connect in with the greatest source of truth. Because if you try to find truth in the history books, you're going to find white man's opinion. You're going to find a very curated story, right? And so when you go within, nothing can override that. And when you start to really purify your channel, you're purifying that connection to the divine, that connection to source, and that connection to truth. And that is when you start to plug back into wholeness, back into sovereignty, and back into love. And it's where you start to melt those heavier processes, right? It's like that's the alchemy, is when we can go within and reconnect and remember who we are as divine light. And sometimes it's only when life gets really heavy, right? Or when things get really dark that we find that spark within. And as we move into the solstice season and the season of winter, we are in those depths of slowing down, of stillness, of literally having more darkness in our days. Although after solstice, we are inching back just a little more light at a time, but we are still in that period where we have more dark in our day, in our 24 hours, than we do light. And so that is a period where that shadow work becomes really, really rich. And there is so much transformation that can happen through this season of winter. And it is ultimately venturing into the mystery, into the void, into the 0 point, into that still source of light in the center of your heart. It's going into that space, which is really into the darkness, to reconnect with that light of truth, that light of love, and that light of higher awareness, because it's where we can also access witness consciousness, which takes us above the level of the problem to see with new eyes. We can see through the light of source, through the light of higher awareness. And so this is really it is rich, rich work. It is rich, rich work. And the journal prompts for this are, where am I hiding from my truth? Where am I hiding from my truth? Oftentimes, it's easier to stay in these outer external levels, exterior levels, on the surface, right? Kind of ignoring the things that really need our attention in life. Where am I hiding from my truth? And so taking an honest look and getting really honest with yourself about that. What am I afraid others will see? What am I afraid others will see? And so the other aspect, another key component of this is looking at the ways that we hide and the ways that we are afraid of being seen. So we don't actually speak our truth, right? Again, it's easier to stay in the conditioned patterns or stay in conformity versus to really connect with our own inner truth and speak that and letting ourselves be seen. The next journal prompt is, what reminds me I am sacred? What reminds me that I am sacred? That spark of light that you carry is the sacred. And so by your very nature, by you being here in form, having a little inner light that you shepherd and you guide and you share and shine in this world, you are sacred. And so what brings you back to that? What brings you back to knowing that? What reminds you that you are sacred? And then the last one is, what wisdom has always been inside of me? What wisdom has always been inside of me? And so connecting in with the wisdom that you carry, the wisdom of your inner light, because there's a really powerful activation there. When you tune in to what is it that really lights you up? What do you know with all of your being? What holds such great wisdom to you? Because that's ultimately what you're here to carry the torch for, what you're here to be a beacon of, and what you're here to bring to the world. And so through the reflection process, I want to talk about the crystal and the bracelet. There is a crystal Akashic Records reading and a crystal meditation that goes with the practice each month. And so once you've worked through the journal prompts and listened to the meditation and really do that reflective practice, you can set your intention for the month and write that on the intention card. There's also tea and Palo Santo for opening your sacred space and dropping into this beautiful practice. And then a crystal energy bracelet that's intentionally designed in a crystal. So let's talk about the energies that are supporting this practice this month. So with the bracelet is actually made with black labradorite. Have you ever seen black labradorite? If you look closely enough, you can find those little pieces that have that labradorescence, that little shine to them. And so this is just like labradorite. It is a stone of transformation. It has a little bit more of a protective quality to it, which labradorite does, but the black labradorite version even more so. And it's also a stone for just inner wisdom, connecting with your inner wisdom. And of course, labradorite is a wonderful stone for connecting with psychic energies as well. And we have actual labradorite here on the little stick beads here on the end. And then we also have Lemurian aquatine calcite, which is this little bead right here, which is a wonderful stone also for spiritual wisdom, for expanding consciousness, and for emotional harmony. And then we have ocean jasper, which is right here, which is a great stone for relaxation, for peace, for going with the flow. And then we have black quartz here, and it also has little flecks of mica in it. And mica is an amazing stone for self-reflection, because mica, you can think of it as like a mirror. It reflects back to you what you need to see. And so this black quartz is amplifying, and in a way, I'm not really sure what the inclusions are that create the black, but I feel like this is also kind of akin to an inclusion quartz, which is a powerful stone for journeying and just connecting in with higher levels of awareness. And then we have silkwood here, which is a wonderful stone for connecting with earth energy and harmonizing with the earth field. And then we have aquamarine for communication clarity in general, and emotional harmony and going with the flow. And then we have chrysoberyl here, which is a wonderful stone for self-awareness, self-discovery, and raising your self-worth. And so this entire bracelet is supporting you with all of those qualities that help take you into meeting your shadow, integrating your shadow, moving through those periods of transformation and doing it with ease, right? Having these beautiful, energetic allies with you to help move through that with ease. And you can see I actually have my bracelet on here. And when you subscribe to the box, you start to collect your own beautiful little stack of bracelets. So let's get into the stone. This is Yooperlite. It is Yooperlite, and this stone actually will fluoresce underneath of a UV light. And so for that reason, it is a stone of inner illumination, and it helps you to see what is beyond the surface. It helps you to connect in with what's underneath, right? The subconscious field, or what is buried inside, and it helps you to connect with that glow, that light, that illumination that is found when you journey into the depths or when you journey into the unseen. It's a great stone for bringing clarity for that reason and insights, and it's also a great stone for bringing calmness, calming your expression, and helping you to release the emotions that need to be released. And so it helps to take you through that journey into self, to see what you need to see, to release the emotions that come with that process. And it actually strengthens your intuition and your psychic awareness too. So it helps you to build this attunement with self, to be able to really drop in and connect with your truth, what you need to see, what you need to know. So it helps you navigate that inner landscape with confidence, and it guides you to deeper self-discovery, and ultimately it guides you to your authentic truth in that process, which ultimately supports this work, the theme for the month, which is in the darkness, I find my brightest light. And I don't know if I can hold the entire box up here. Let's see if I can do that. You can kind of see the whole box here. It always kind of, there's always like a color theme. And then when you subscribe to the box, not only do you get the box each month, but you get our digital membership as well. And the digital access actually comes with bonus access to the meditation library, where we have, I think, over 50 crystal meditations and growing each month. And so it's a wonderful practice for self-care, for energetic alignment, for spiritual reflection, and really dropping into that very nourishing space, nourishing your soul, your inner spirit each and every month. And through the end of December, I'm actually offering a free box when you sign up for a 3-month or 6-month prepaid subscription. So you can purchase month to month, cancel anytime, skip a box anytime, or skip a month anytime, or you can do a prepaid 3-month subscription or 6-month subscription, gifting yourself this beautiful monthly practice. So there's no coupon code to get the free box. You just have to sign up before December 31st with a 3 or 6 month subscription. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them below. I would love to hear how this theme lands for you this month. So share in the comments. I look forward to reading your comments. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for being here, and keep shining.